I'll be fair and honest, I didn't think we'd be here so soon, but a new ban list has been implemented for Elestrals, which goes into effect on October 24th, just in time for the premiere on the 25th, so let's talk about the hits and how it's going to impact the top decks. Newly banned are Rise from the Ashes, Hurricane, and Helios' Chariot Ride. Unsurprisingly, with 2 and 3 drops now being the primary threats of the metagame, Rise from the Ashes has become a thorn that needs to be removed. We knew this would be the case sooner rather than later, and the previous hit to 1 was ideal for the time since the only deck abusing it at the time was Blizztrix, which always ran the risk of milling it. But now that there are other decks that can abuse it, especially ones like Solar that can foretell it and stack it on top to draw for combo, the card needed to be dealt with. Hurricane, while being more tied to specific strategies, was also an issue, namely in that one of the top 3 strategies plays the exact elements for this blowout regularly, and this was a bit of a holdover from Firestorm format that should have been dealt with as well. Helios' on the other hand was always a ticking time bomb. Ever since the Elestriad Season 2, when players opted for Chariot Ride to secure their big pushes, the theory had always been present that for any deck that needs a combo off to secure a win, Chariot Ride would be a piece that pushed that deck over the edge. We saw snippets of this back in Firestorm with the Bear Bomb, but now we've entered a combo heavy metagame, with all 3 of the top decks being big drop combo decks, making Chariot Ride all the stronger. The idea that it can either insulate your combo to ensure it goes off, or be used to stun your opponent out of a crackback turn after you combo is just too good. And if it was closer to something like Cold Wave from Yu-Gi-Oh, where it stunned your runes too, it would have been more acceptable, though that's still not an effect I believe we should have in the game. With these 3 changes, I expect the meta to remain exactly in the same spot it has been, with Locagon, Solar, and Blizztrix still being the top 3 decks, and I expect that's not going to change prior to the October 25th premiere. These decks are still insanely powerful and still have the massive swing turns you'd expect from large drop strategies. But now their combos are no longer guaranteed, as without back row stun options, Suppression can perform massive amounts of board control to stun out these combos and give you a turn to develop, while also preventing the opponent from stunning out your follow-up removal. I do expect that we're going to also see Resting on Your Laurels move back into main decks here for a bit, with the Rise in Spirits on board, but the main winners through this list are undoubtedly Gorgon's Gaze, Dense Fog, and Monsoon of Iruis, as these 3 options are going to be pivotal in stunning out a turn to answer your opponent's game-ending push, obviously with Iruis not working against Locagon. Regardless, the 3 best decks are still the best decks, just more susceptible to outs than before. We'll have to wait and see on the 25th if the meta is going to shift from all this, but I highly doubt it will. That's all for this update. I'm gonna go take a nap. Take care.